Hello everybody, welcome to another Eternal Deck Tech. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Want to give a big shout out to our sponsor as always, inkgaming.com, and of course to all the subs and patrons who help support this show. I have a deck here for you that is based off of a deck from Hoffy, who is somebody on Eternal Warcry. It was sent to me by some of my wonderful viewers in chat. I'm going to redraw this on Twitch, and I've really liked it. I shifted around a few things. I go over that in the deck tech that's down below. You can check out that link. And I've also linked to the original list that's on Eternal Warcry. I'm going to keep this hand. First hand not having any power was a little bit of a problem. But the deck is essentially a Chalice deck that's also trying to use like Rat Cage to get lots of extra units so that you can power up your Chalices. And yeah, we definitely want Auralian Merchant. It also relies heavily on Display of Knowledge, being able to draw any relic from your deck, or putting attacking enemy units on the bottom. So you can do a few different things that way. Alright, we'll put a Courtier down. Got a nice aggressive deck here. Unsurprising because they're in Diamond 1. Pretty much everybody just plays like either Rakano or Skycrag aggro when they're in this low of a ranking. Especially near the end of the month. They just want to grind out as many games as possible, hopefully find people that are in low masters that are doing weird things like this. So even if their deck isn't an A+ like all-star in the format, it doesn't really matter because you're trying to play against people that, you know, are like me, playing weird little decks and testing things out. So do we want to change the Crest or the Waystone? I probably just want undepleted power here. We already have double time. We don't need any more than that. So I think I'm going to shift off the Crest and get the Chalice this way. They fired off that Permafrost really quickly. Not using Torch is good sign for us. I'm going to guess they have another Permafrost, yep. Which is obnoxious, but we can play a Lumen Defender. And that should block most things, and then we've got the Display of Knowledge set up after that. So I'll just Lumen Defender here. We don't need to worry about setting up the Chalice too much yet. We'd rather make sure that we are keeping our life total high. Because we can grind them down much later in the game, that's fine. Hopefully they don't have, like, triple Permafrost, because that's pretty ridiculous. And thankfully it looks like they don't. We're going to play Chalice here first, because I don't want to Crest. I'd like to Ephemeral Wisp. Okay, well, we'll Crest the Cunning. Unfortunately we can't get the Wisp down, but that's alright. Ooh, we've got Devour. Do we want Devour? We can play Wisp, hold up Devour. I mean, it's not bad. I can also use Chalice on it. I think I'm going to keep the Devour. It does also let me use these if I really, really want to. Probably don't. Surprised our opponent's not attacking here. Will Ephemeral Wisp not use the Chalice yet? We need to be in a safer position to do that. Yeah, we'll definitely bottom that one. And this way I can hold up Display of Knowledge or the Devour, either or. Wow. Awesome hits. That being said, we do have the Display, so thankfully we're not super dead here. And yep, that can just go on the bottom.
Trust in the shadow.
Not a bad position to be in. Ooh, Auralian Merchant's nice. I'm gonna try and do this, and then probably send something away, or just a second Lumen Defender. Nice, that's really, really good. 27 life, and they've used 2 Permafrost. They're gonna have a hard time getting through this. We're in very good position here. Alright, well. You know, kill both of those, actually. Use a Torch on one. I'm just thinking like the Overwhelm, if they have a combat trick, is more annoying there, and I'd rather get rid of the double damage. In Cold Blood isn't terrible. Let me use Chalice again. We've got enough life that we can take a couple of hits here if they really want to try and get around that. And now we've got Ritualist. Doesn't block too well. I could just in Cold Blood. If we do Ritualist, though, we've got the Devour held up. I think we'll want to do that. And then pass the turn. Probably Devour the Ephemeral Wisp at end of turn. They're just going for it. Alright. We've got another Torch, I'm guessing. Yeah. then I might as well sacrifice the Lumen Defender. No, I don't want to do that. What am I talking about? That would be crazy. Definitely let it hit first. If they had done it the other way around, then I should Devour. Now I might Devour this, though. I don't want to lose the Ephemeral Wisp in case we don't draw a power card. We have 7. Do I want to get rid of Auralian Merchant? It might be okay. I don't want to lose too much power here either. But I like the effect of the Courtier here. Okay. Got a power card. Display of Knowledge is nice again. And we can just go... Honestly, I kind of just want to like use the Chalice here, keep up the 4/5, and Display of Knowledge probably. Play this to go to 7, so we can have like a 4-drop and play Display of Knowledge. Do I need another Merchant? I can get a Zindel. I can get Display of Knowledge. I mean, Merchant's probably pretty good. I mean, we're just set up very nicely now.
Draw, mister.
Sure. And I'm going to go Blistersting Wasp, use it, and then hold up Display of Knowledge. That's why I wanted to have 7 power, so it seems like a good idea to set that up. We'll just keep passing the turn. There's no reason for us to get crazy here. We're in great shape, so we don't need to worry about it. We can Madness and Devour one, like use it with the Ritualist. It does mean that we leave Display of Knowledge down, so that might not be the best thing for us to do. I think we're in okay shape, though. I'm going to trade our second Ritualist here for a Zindel, I think. Could use Chalice again, but honestly, we're in such great shape. I don't need to do that. I'm just going to hold up Display of Knowledge for the rest of the game and slowly start beating them to death. We have a lot of cards in hand, like we don't need to get crazy. Well, if I play a Zindel, that might just end the game here, but I don't mind being a little bit careful and just holding everything up over and over. What do we find with Contraband? Pillar of Amar. Wow. Okay. I will begrudgingly take that. And let's just hold up Display of Knowledge. We can start attacking still. Like, we still have this to chump block. We still have Display of Knowledge. If they're attacking, they're losing 2 things. Playing a power card there seems like not the best idea because it's just letting us know that they don't have anything. And we'll exhaust this now because this is a good blocker. Draw another card. I kind of don't mind keeping a power card on top here because I don't mind having more power at this point. 6. We can go Merchant and still Display of Knowledge. Sure. So I'm going to Merchant, trade off one of the Wisps, and I'm going to get another Display of Knowledge because the card's just awesome. It's going to do so much here. If they ever try and get in, we've just got Display of Knowledge to stop it. Like any combat trick, we immediately put the attacking enemy on the bottom, and it's just brutal. Let's see, like... Sure. And on the bottom.
Trust in the shadow.
At this point, they should probably just scoop. Yeah, there we go. Like it's got to be real frustrating. Like, they know that they're being just ground to death. This is one of the reasons why, I talk about this in the deck. I took out Hailstorms. I feel like we're in a pretty decent position most of the time against the more aggressive decks like that because of the Ephemeral Wisps, because of like all the 0/4s. And Chalice just, you get one Chalice activation and they can't get around it. So there's only so long that they can try and keep pressure up on you. Whew. Well, this hand doesn't look so good. But yeah, with that last game, Display of Knowledge, you can tell, like, really puts a lot of pressure on those aggro decks. I think that it's just fantastic there. Ooh, we've got a Pledge card. We don't have double Primal, but I think this is okay. It's too bad we don't have a Relic. I'm kind of relying on this getting us there and using the scout to hopefully draw something too. Okay, cool. We got Auralian Merchant, so we can set that up. We don't need to pledge. We've got enough power. We'll bot on the Devour. We don't have anything good to Devour yet. If we had a Rat Cage or something, I would think about it. Ooh, probably a Howling Peak deck. I'm a little more afraid of that kind of thing, because I feel like they can go over the top of what we're doing. And I want to play the Banner here, because it's undepleted. Does mean that we're not playing the Lethrai, but I want to get Auralian Merchant down here if I can. And that will set me up to 4, which means that I can use the Crest of Cunning to get Crystalline Chalice online. So next turn I might even just play this first, which is awkward. Because I want to draw another power card if I can. So, you know, we can actually go Time Sigil, and then we can go
The forest.
play those two. And that does also set me up where I can Chalice and maybe hit another undepleted power to immediately draw off of the Chalice. Oh, I can't. Well, I can't Chalice first, right. But I might just draw a undepleted Primal Source too. Like a Banner or a Crest would be good. Or Waystone or Sigil would be good. That feels like it's going to be a bore. So I could wait, not play anything yet. Ritualist again. I don't want a second Ritualist. Although the Madness and the Devour kind of strategy here is nice. Could use that right now. Or I could just play a Lumen Defender. Kind of want to just eat this. Not a bad way to use the turn. They could be playing something a lot worse later on, but this also means they can't protect a Howling Peak if they go for it right away. Like, it's a little bit tougher for them to protect it. I don't have anything to block it yet. Gun that down, sure. But they'll need to start setting things up. And there's Rat Cage. I want to get that down right away. Gives me another card draw here immediately, and it lets me start trying to pressure this Peak. This card is so absurd.
Who says you can't play with fire?
Where they can have, like, Zoe here, or Malt Nakova, or Kenna. Yeah, lots and lots of different things. Hopefully we can Display of Knowledge that soon. Contraband. Sure. Ooh. Could Madness just to kill their Howling Peak. Which does not sound like the worst thing, actually. Alright, I'm going to Contraband first. Xenan Destroyer, Sandcrawler, Torrential Downpour. These are all not good. We'll take Destroyer, I guess. So I have 5 left. I can both Madness and play something. Or I can wait and hold up Display of Knowledge. I really don't want to let them get the Mirror Image, though, so I think I need to just kill this. It sucks that we don't get rid of the Kenna. But, sure. Killing the Peaks seems important. And we'll Blistersting so that Kenna can't really attack us back, at least. Next turn we can hold up Display of Knowledge. Second Howling Peak would be annoying. No, that might be it. I don't think that this one had the market symbol on it. I might have missed it. This could also be a bore now. If the first one wasn't. Didn't play anything. Huh. Find that interesting. So I'm just going to use it on our merchant. Because it's a defender. I'll play the Wisp. It means we can hold up Display of Knowledge or Devour. Either or. It might be a tough one. They've got a lot of cards still. Yeah, there's the other Howling Beak. Kind of surprised they're going for the gun down and not immediately mirror imaging the Kenna, but sure. And Combustion Cell is the other one they got. Cool. Well, we'll just bottom Kenna so they can't make a second copy of it.
Trust in the shadow.
Looks like they have a torch. That pause definitely screams torch. I'm gonna make the rat a 3/3. Another rat cage. Unfortunately, we can't kill the Howling Peak. Can get close. There's nothing to really hold up besides the Devour. So we could go Rat Cage, Sadistic Ritualist, and still have Devour up.
One more sacrifice.
Don't mind doing that. We can go wide around them here. They're not going to have a lot of board wipes in the colors that they are. Maybe a Hailstorm, but that's not that bad for us. It just wipes out rats. Yeah.
Job done. Guaranteed.
If they have Boar, which they should get it now. Surprised they haven't gotten it before now. The mirror image on this is so bonkers. I mean, gun down and mirror image are just so strong, and having 5 toughness on it is disgusting. Okay, to me that screams that they actually have a Hailstorm here. So I'm going to let that happen, and then we're just going to Devour. Oh, they've got Mullet and Nakova. Yeah, alright. One or the other was going to get us pretty good. They had the torch too, so they still would have been able to do it. They'd have just had to use the torch as well. Ow. So we get a Blistersting Wasp. We can still block. Get back a Wisp. Let's draw a card. They've got the torch to just get rid of it. I should have done that the other way around, actually. I should have taken the damage this turn and used the Chalice on the Wasp immediately. That was really stupid of me.
Must be destroyed.
We need to find a Madness and a Display of Power. Yeah, really bad move on my part. Something that comes with playing the deck a little bit more, which I haven't done too much of yet. So I've got to remember that. Gotta be a little smarter. I mean, seems like an easy crack in with Mullet, at least. Their hand's still stacked with things? Because they've had a... Wow, they're using Combustion Cell? Yeah, they've had an awesome hand. Double Kenna and Mullet Nakova. Fantastic hand.
Spirit hungers.
Yeah. That's pretty good. And we'll just double attack that. We can just scoop at this point. There's not going to be a way out for us. They've had too good of a hand. Double Kenna, double Merchant, double Howling Peak, Mullet Nakova. That's a tough game to beat. Well, another really rough start here. We're just going to redraw that. And hopefully get a little bit better power. Yeah, this one's fine. We don't have any real enablers yet, but we have 2 removal cards, and this can get us a relic if we really want to just go for a Chalice right away. We'll see what happens. If they're not super aggressive, we can possibly use that to do it. I've mostly found these useful as removal, but it's good to remember that, I mean, they can just pick up a Crystalline Chalice, get us an extra power card, and we can start going off that way. I'm going to bottom that. We don't need another power card here. A little bit awkward that we can't play our In Cold Blood without that, but we also need to find action. We can't just sit here forever. Ooh, Rat Cage on Rat Cage. Hello. So we'll Crest the Cunning. This is a slow start. Definitely do not need another Madness. Double Madness here would be very bad. Very, very bad. And I'm a little bit concerned because this can be a very, very fast start depending on what they have. An early Rat Cage can be terrifying.
The forest holds many secrets.
Okay, play the Courtier. Madness Devour, yep, I'll keep it. They're probably not a deck that Madness Devour is super great against, but the Madness just being nothing in our hand in the meantime doesn't feel any better. Let's just go Waystone. And I'll almost certainly Display of Knowledge at the end of turn to get a Chalice. I think that's just going to be the right play to do. And thankfully our opponent hasn't had like a super fast hand yet.
A customer.
Alright. Auralian Merchants. This looks like it might be the Rat Relic deck that I'd kind of made around. I'm sure a lot of people have made similar decks too. Like I've heard other people making a lot of Rat Cage brews with like Vault of the Praxis and stuff. It's not so innovative that other people won't think of it, that's for sure. I didn't use it. Whoop. Oh, I like the Rat Cage, though. That was really dumb, because I should have just been playing a Chalice here and been very happy about it. And instead, I'm not, because I totally just blanked and didn't play it. Every once in a while, you have those moments. It's hard to do a lot of talking sometimes, too. I'm generally pretty good about it at this point, but yeah, that was really silly. Mesmerized Moth. Really? Huh. Okay. Cool card. Let's actually get the relic this time.
Trust in the shadow.
And do things right. Could have also gotten Vault of the Praxis because we could immediately Rat Cage into Vault, but I don't mind doing this either. I could actually Chalice first and draw the card. Doesn't seem like a terrible plan. I think I'd rather do that. It does mean that we take some damage here, but they've only got 3 damage on board. I imagine they have Katra in there. They're probably going for lifesteal more than actual relics, and just trying to use, like, maybe Cobalt Scavengers and stuff. Vara Vengeance Seeker, sure.
It's my turn.
We will let it be big, because we're just going to Madness Devour it. And if they do get Katra, we have double In Cold Blood, so we're pretty well set up against that style of thing. And we can Madness Devour and use the Chalice again, which is really sweet. This buys us a ton of time. Like, we're only taking 3 damage. It doesn't matter that much if they're hitting us for 3 here, so we don't need to worry about blocking. I could also Rat Cage plus Contraband, which is a possibility, but I think I'd rather just make this a big threat. We can start attacking back with it too, right? Got Merchants, so we could go for like another Chalice or Display, maybe even a Zindel. We have enough power to do it once we have this. Yeah, here we go. Oof, and double use, that's pretty sick. Nice setup from our opponent. I'm sure they've probably had the Katra there for a while, and they've just been waiting until they got all the right pieces. Really nice start. That being said, we're still not in that bad of a situation, because we just pop that. Don't have to worry about it anymore. We can go Auralian Merchant, or we can just Ephemeral Wisp and Contraband, or like Rat Cage. We will be taking 3 at least if they decide not to attack with anything else. I kind of want the Wisp down just to block, or the Merchant. A Zindel seems kind of nice here. Or Passage of Eons, maybe. Ooh. It does mean that the rats could block, but it would stop this from flying. It would stop them from having the extra power. They'd get rid of all the baubles. That might be the way to go.
A customer.
And I think I'll just trade Contraband, because that's just going to be a random card. I'd rather have the Passage of Eons than that. Plus, if they get another Courtier here, I can just immediately silence it. Or if they have something like that, because that's a problem. Yikes. I would think they just swing out. Nope. Alright, well, that's helpful at least. Does something for us. And now we definitely play Ephemeral Wisp as well, because we just need to have more blockers. Need to block as much of this as possible. Another Obelisk. Wow, what a sick, sick hand. Really, really strong draws from our opponent here. They should be attacking more aggressively. They can put so much pressure on us. Getting the second Obelisk is so good. What an incredible hand. Yikes. That's really, really rough. We take 10 damage. And that's just to try and keep as much alive as possible. We can gain a little bit of life from the Devour. We could Lumen Defender. Hopefully we hit a power card. I mean, I guess we can Rat Cage. So Rat Cage, Devour, Lumen Defender. I'm just thinking. Because, like, I need another power card is the thing. I just didn't. So if we Rat Cage, we can get one, which will mean that we can hold up the Devour on Ephemeral Wisp. Otherwise, we could, like, Madness Devour and Rat Cage, get a Wisp back. Might not be a bad plan. Okay, Rat Cage gets us a power card. We can use the Chalice here, or we could just hold up a Devour. Kind of want a Rat Cage again. And then probably just hold up Devour, honestly. Because we're at a low enough life total that the Devour makes a big difference in a swing here if they happen to have another really good draw. Like, another Courtier. Jeez. Sure, we can sacrifice this. It doesn't really matter if we keep rats or not right now. They're not doing enough, but we also just get that back immediately as well with the Shadow Sigil, so no real reason to lose a rat either. Definitely going to want to kill Courtier.
You made it personal.
And then I think we just play Lumen Defender.
Time heals all.
It puts us at a 12 life total, so we're at a high enough life total now that we can probably recover, start drawing a bunch of cards. I can't imagine they keep hitting, like, Xenan Relics, Xenan Obelisks and Courtiers for the rest of the game. They've got to miss eventually a little bit. So far, they have not been doing a lot of that. Vault of the Praxis and get a couple rats, draw a card, get a power card. Now we're starting to really shine. And we can go... kind of want to just, like... I don't even know if we need to use Chalice. We can just play another Vault of the Praxis, make a whole lot more rats. We do need the rats to get bigger eventually to punch through is the problem. And it's going to be hard because of that Relic. Woof. Getting that Obelisk was so, so good there for them. Wasp actually attacks in the air, so I might just try and do that instead. Ooh, Auralian Merchant's great. It means that we can get, like, Banish to kill their Obelisk, or we can get a Zindel. I think that we actually just want to get the Banish here. So we're just gonna Merchant, trade a Ritualist, get the Banish, and pass the turn. And if they don't hit, like, a second Obelisk, I feel like we're in really good shape.
I know these streets well.
Scavenger. we're going to start trying to power up the rats. Because then we can attack in, and then if they block, we can just blow up their Xenan obelisk, which is really, really nice for us. I feel like we can do this. Like, this seems okay. Could play a Ritualist and sacrifice a rat.
One more sacrifice.
It seems reasonable. We've got enough of a life total and stuff now that we're okay. Yeah, now we can swap Auralian Merchant and, like, swap Lethrai Courier for a wonderful Azindal. Play the Waystone, and that way we can hold up the Banish and pass. And this is looking like it's our game to lose at this point. Should be tough for them to get out of this. At this point, end of turn, I'm just going to blow up the obelisk. Yeah. And scoopty-poopty. Nice. Whew, that got really scary there. They had a lot of insane top decks. But we managed to get out of it. I think this deck beats up really, really well on like a lot of kind of more aggro-focused decks, or even a little bit more mid-range. The problem is like the other control lists, like the really slow mid-range ones that have a lot of value, like the Howling Peaks are going to be tough, like that one before this, because they can go over the top of us. We're also a little weak to flyers, for sure. Game 4, we're 2-1, and this hand is unfortunately not good enough. Sure, we can get a power card. If we actually had a Courtier, I'd probably keep it because of the double rat cage. Because if we've got 2 power and Lethrai, we can just rat cage and draw all the power that we need. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like a great plan. Oof, and this one. We don't have the Shadow. I think we have to go to 6. It's close. If we had the Shadow, I might have kept that. This is a lot better. It's too bad, because we got a lot of pledges, too, so we shouldn't normally have to go down to 6. We've got 27 power sources, plus 4 pledge cards. Generally, that should be good enough that our opening hands can get there, but just a couple of rough ones in a row. Opponent immediately keeps on top, which is terrifying as well. And they look like they're probably another value, like Howling Peaks deck, which is going to be really tough for us already. So this is looking very, very bad. An awful, awful draw, and then just a fantastic start from our opponent, probably. In a bad matchup for us. Like, keeping a card on top right away says their hand's probably pretty good. Not to mention, like, just being a bad matchup for us on top of all that, and us going down to 6. And this hand still isn't that good. We keep on top again? Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, this is dicey. Wisp is actually good. It lets us Devour, lets us Sadistic Ritualist, starts the Vault of the Praxis shenanigans. That's a nice little start. Play Crest the Cunning next turn with it, and then we've got Elysian Banner undepleted. Yeah, so probably another Kenedon's kind of list. Yeah, I like the Merchant. Merchant lets us get the last piece of the puzzle, which is the Crystalline Chalice, so that's a good start for us to do. Let's see how aggressive our opponent can be. I might not block here because I want the banner undepleted. We could also just go Merchant too, though. Because if I go banner, we can vault. I think I wait. And they have a torch too. I like this because it sets up, if we have 5 power, we might take another 2 damage again next turn as well. It sets up where we can go Devour, play a power, play Auralian Merchant, draw an extra card off the vault. So I like setting that up. And yeah, it doesn't mean that we take another 2 damage here, but I think that it's worth trying to get there. We're going to have to be really, really greedy. They've had just such a fantastic start, and we've had such a bad one by going down to 6, so I think we've got to do that. Plus, it's just like a bad matchup for us on top of all of that. Lots of awful, awful things here. Alright, sacrifice the Wisp. awkward. I'd love to do that first, so we could then Feln Banner, and then we'd be able to have a little bit of Aegis. Probably not going to matter if they have a boar, which is the most likely thing, right? That's probably the number one thing we're worried about. Feln Banner, trade for a Chalice. Does leave us at 6 power. I think that's acceptable. We don't want to slam this immediately, though, because they might have just marketed for boar. They could also just market for a Howling Peak, and if they did that, we're pretty screwed. It's going to be a tough one if they do it. Sure. We know they have Torch, and if they want to, they can kill the Merchant. Sure. Like, that's a little obnoxious because it leaves us off of 6 power, but we've still got options. Like, we can Lumen Defender, we can Ritualist Blistersting. We've got options to do things with. And we don't mind losing the Wisp anymore. In fact, it actually helps us because we just draw an undepleted power. It's easier for us to get 2 units down. Like, we can Lumen Defender and power and immediately have a board again, draw an extra card. So having the Wisp in the Void is often an advantage in this deck. Especially, like, once you have Vault of the Praxis, for sure. Wow. Was that 2 or 3 strategizes? Just 2? Really nice setup, though. This is going to be a very tough game, I think. Unfortunately, no power. And now we get it, which is awkward, because it means that we... I want to set up where we can immediately Wisp and do something else so we can Vault of the Praxis basically for free. But I also want more power cards in play, right? Like, I need to have more than 5 power. So I think I'll just play this. Display of Knowledge. If they've got Kenna, which they almost certainly do, it's nice to have this. So I think I'm going to do it. There's the third strategize. Yeah, they're just getting such a great setup here to just have all the cards they need in their hand. A very, very tough matchup for us, and they've just had such a great start for us. Yeah, and double Merchant. Yep. This is everything we don't want to see over and over and over. With our 6 hand, too. Ugh. Tough for us. I'm not sure what we're going to do next turn. I might just try and Devour this immediately. Huh. What would they get that has Echo? They could get like a Thunderstrike Dragon, maybe. That would be pretty good against us. Display of Knowledge only gets 1, although it's bad against Blistersting, so I'm not sure why they would do that. Oof. Really hoping that we would draw a power card. Well, I can go really risky here. Devour again. This is really risky. But I just need to start getting things going. Yeah, okay. So we now play this, get back 2 Ephemeral Wisps, draw an extra card. I don't think I want a Lumen Defender. And then hopefully we can hold up Display of Knowledge afterwards. I really don't like holding Display of Knowledge down here, but I don't have a great choice. I need to start hitting power cards and actually being able to do multiple things a turn. And here comes the Kenna, which is what we wanted the Display of Knowledge for, but what do you do?
My spirit hungers.
Thankfully, they're only getting Wisdom of Elders and nothing else too insane. They should absolutely be attacking, yeah. This does let us draw a free card, and it does prevent at least 2 damage, so that's somewhat helpful. Another Vault of the Praxis. That's not a bad idea. It lets us draw a bunch of cards here. Lets us do Display of Knowledge afterwards. Does play into Boar, but they might not have gone for it. We'll have to see. Plus, we do have Chalices afterwards, so it's not the worst situation. And we're just going to hold up Display of Knowledge after this. Double Blistersting's not bad. I'm really worried about them having like a mirror image in hand or something. Permafrost. Sure. This is gonna hurt. End of hostilities. Yeah. Woof. What a great hand. Wish that we had some way to have interacted beforehand. Like, we needed to hold up the display of knowledge. We could have stopped the Kenna from actually being in play. But now it's just too late. There's not any way that we can get past that many Kennas. They had such a great hand to set everything up. Like, triple strategize is perfect when we're not putting any pressure on them, because it just guarantees they're going to have the exact perfect cards, which is what we saw later on in the game from them. Absolutely fantastic hand from our opponent, and a little bit of a rough start from us in a bad matchup, so everything went exactly the way we'd expect it with the way that started. Alright, finals. We are 2-2, had a couple of bad matchups, and also just like a really awful starting hand against a really good starting hand last game. I mean, and both of the bad matchups too have had amazing hands. I think this is keepable though. We've got the Ephemeral Wisp to Devour, so that should be enough for us to be able to start setting things up and getting going. Plus, obviously, Auralian Merchant getting us a Chalice while we have Ephemeral Wisp is nice. We don't have double Primal yet, but we're just hoping that, like, with, what, 3 draws plus the Devour, we should be able to get that within, you know, a certain amount of time. Like, I don't think we're going to have a problem playing it by turn 4. We're going to look at 5 cards by that point. If we can't find it, well, that's just a lot of bad luck. Ooh. That's an interesting one. Huh. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to kind of hope that we just draw an undepleted Primal, or just, I mean, even a depleted Primal source. Because if we can go Auralian Merchant next turn, using the Waystone, and then we even get a, you know, a Crest or something, then we're in great shape. Or we can just banner. Perfect.
A customer.
Swap the Time Sigil, get a Chalice, and we're off to the races. Opponents on Praxis. That's probably going to be a tougher one for us, because if they're playing the right Praxis deck, I'd imagine they have a bunch of the... Yeah! They're going to have some Screaming Mages coming in at us. I'm not going to block that. That really feels like a torch. And I don't mind just taking the 1 damage. They're not using it on our Courtier right away, and I don't want them to use it on the Merchant. I want to keep our power. Primal Sigil. Cool. Now we can start blocking, like, if we lose this or whatever, it's fine. Same with if we lose the Merchant at this point. A Pompous Historian. Yeah, so they're definitely like Praxis Sentinels. And they didn't keep Heart of the Vault. Ooh. So that's more than a little terrifying. If Heart of the Vault isn't good enough, that's pretty scary. Make that bigger. I'm just going to Ephemeral Wisp and hold up Devour here, I think. I could have Display of Knowledge, but they're not going to have anything that's attacking in yet that we need to kill. I don't need to go for another Relic yet, so I think we're fine just waiting. Another Relic is very likely off of this, though. I definitely think we're going to have some of them blow up. Like, they're going to have... They should have the Shatterglass Mages. Party like it's 2017. I've really liked the idea of doing Praxis again, because there's a lot of Relic hate that's on really good things like Screaming Mage that seem like be really good in a meta the way that it's shaped up. Like, getting rid of cookbooks, getting rid of all the weird Relic decks like we're playing, all the rat cages and stuff like that. Yeah, here's Disjunction. Unsurprisingly, opponent has removal. And they should just swing in with the team. Yeah. We will Devour. There's a good chance that we hit another power card, which we don't, but hey. We've got the Courtiers, so even just the Relic is enough to get us there. Madness Devour would have been nice. Another Merchant, which is pretty cool. I'm going to go Courtier, play the Rat Cage, though. Get some more power cards, and we'll Display of Knowledge hold up here. Another rat cage. That's interesting. It does mean that we can go for like a Vault of the Praxis and immediately start doing some shenanigans, which I don't mind. I'm worried about how much removal they're going to have for relics, though. Chalice is an easier one to rely on because you can kind of play one at a time. We don't actually have to have the rat cages. But I'll keep it and we'll see what we can do. Because like going for Vault of the Praxis is a lot riskier. We have to play a lot more relics to make it super relevant. Whereas, like, Chalice, you just need one Chalice at a time. You don't need to play multiples. So a Boar is a lot less of a blowout. Same with, like, Passage of Eons. It's a lot less of a problem. Sure. We've already gotten our value off of those. That's okay. I mean, we do have another Rat Cage, but we drew 2 power cards already off of that. We're fine with them blowing a Purify. They didn't use it on the Ephemeral Wisp, which I think would have been a lot scarier. I guess that they have a torch here and they want to kill the merchants? I'm not sure why else they would do that, because otherwise they're just losing a unit. Yeah, another Purify. Sure. I mean, we go down a power, but that's not super relevant when we're using the Lethrai here. We also didn't see what they kept for Relic or... Oh, that might have been it. What they kept for a Relic versus a Sentinel, right? It might be the cookbook. I'm just surprised because they've
Trust in the shadow.
threw the Heart of the Vault away, which is weird to me. So we can go Rat Cage. Vault, get a whole lot of rats. This deck could maybe use an Obelisk in the market. I've thought about that. We're in great shape here. As long as they don't bore us immediately. And we can get a Passage of Eons from the market with the Auralian Merchant if we really want, so that we can get rid of the cookbook. Or we could just go for a Zindel and throw away a bunch of rats to draw a ton of cards off of their deck. And it also draws us extra cards. It's not a bad plan. They still don't have any good attacks, although another Merchant's scary because they can certainly go for their own Passage of Eons. And I would not be surprised if they have it. Or like a Shattered Glass Mage. I think that they should be playing a Shattered Glass Mage, but the more that I look at like what they're doing here, I get the feeling they might not be doing it. Okay, sweet. So we can go for both Passage and for an Azindal. I like that. I'm gonna go for... So we'll still have a total... Yeah, we'll still have 8. I think I go for a Zindel first. And I'll pass. I'm wondering if I want a Display of Knowledge for Crystalline Chalice too. Because I can guess that they'll probably Passage. And then at that point, like next turn, I might even just want to go for Chalice and start rebuilding our board. Does mean that all the rats can block too, which is actually awesome. Opponent has no good attacks, they're just stuck waiting. That being said, like a Zindel here is also still really solid. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the Chalice. I think we're in good shape to get it. We're not going to draw too many cards here, just 2. But they might also have to trade for it. Nice! Yeah, they don't even want to keep playing at that point. Azindel's just such a backbreaker there. Plus they know that we've got like another Chalice or something. We can just keep grinding out that value. I feel like they didn't have the Shatterglass Mages. They probably wouldn't have scooped because they had ways to get out of it. Not keeping that Heart of the Vault seemed wild too. They never really even used the Cookbook. I think they used it only once. Cookbook is a powerful card, but man, over Heart of the Vault, I don't know. Heart of the Vault has such an immediate effect and it would have added a lot of pressure to us, so I'd be interested in knowing what they kept over the Heart of the Vault. It might have been the cookbook. It might have been something else that we didn't see, but that one seemed questionable to me. In any case, we did it! 3-2. The Rat Chalice deck made it there. As you can see, I think that it's got a little bit of a rough road to go against like a Kenadin deck. Like the Howling Peak decks are just so much value. It's really, really hard to beat them with this kind of a list. They tend to go over the top, like you're both kind of slow, grindy decks, but they just get more value even than Chalice does later on in the game. They can just go over the top of everything that you do. Copying Kenadins over and over and over is something that we have a really hard time with. Display of Knowledge, as you might have noticed, is really strong. Absolutely fantastic card in this deck. But I'll let you kind of look over the deck and check out all the stuff that I discussed in there, because I kind of talk about that a little bit there as well. And again, big shout out to Haffi, who is the first person to make this, or Haffi, I'm not sure how to say it, Haffi, and to Chat, who turned me on to the list, which is a pretty sweet little brew. I did make my own changes, and I go over those in the deck text, so I've got that down below as well. And thank you all again for watching and supporting the channel. If you like the channel, hey, I'd certainly appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It does a whole lot for me. And of course, we have our wonderful sponsor, inkgaming.com, down below as well. We've got a bunch of new mouse pads and playmats that we just put up in Ink Gaming's store. So we've got some cool channel art. And I really do appreciate everybody, like I said, who helps out on the Patreon and by subbing on Twitch. I will see you again next week. Have a wonderful time. We're only 50 followers away from having 2,500 by the end of the year, and I'd love to hit that. So, like I said, if you hit the follow button, I'd really appreciate it. See you next week.